A shocking new piece of evidence has seemingly come to light in court, completely upending what was turning into a very aggressive defense from Diddy. Now, he has no option but to go on the back foot, because recordings from when Aaron Carter was alive have come to light.
Do you regret ever getting involved in...
I didn't have a choice. It got bad when I was about 15 years old. I go on my Twitter and I see people saying, "You look like you have AIDS. You should go die." I don't understand how I dedicated 22 years of my life to my fans, and now they turn on me.
Aaron Carter's life was far from normal. From a young age, he was famous. Touring, performing, always in the spotlight. But behind the scenes, things weren't so shiny. When he was just 15, Aaron said he went through some really traumatic experiences. He stayed at Diddy's house, even slept in his bedroom. He remembered Diddy sitting him down, acting like a mentor, telling him, "This is what you've got to do to make it." But now, some people are wondering, was Aaron being groomed? Was he trapped in something much darker? Jaguar Wright believes so.
I think two of the most tragic stories in Hollywood right now in the past 5 years is Aaron Carter and Nipsey Hussle. Aaron Carter was despicable, though, because he begged for help in front of the world. He begged for financial support to help get him a private security team to keep him alive. He said on numerous occasions, "If anything happens to me, I promise you, I am not vital." And no one said anything.
Silence breaker for my brother, who is a artist, and now they're after my life. My whole family is after my life, and they're setting me up. And Sony Records owes me $3.5 million, and they don't want to pay me, and it would be in their better interest, just like Michael told me. And Brad Paisley, who sued Sony Records for $10 million, they owe me money, and they're trying to off. And I'm begging you and I'm pleading you, help me raise $100,000 as soon as I can so I can move to an undisclosed location where I am safe. My realtor won't sell my house. They're all involved in this, and they're trying to keep me there. They had cops come and check for a rope in my garage saying I wanted to hang myself. So please trust what I'm saying.
The thing is, you have Jaguar Wrights and Corey Feldmans and Orlando Browns and you have Dame Dashes and you have Gene Deals. You have people that have worked from so many different aspects and so many different, and yet all roads lead back to the same conclusion. There's pure evil here.
In the last years of his life, Aaron started speaking out. He hinted that he knew secrets about powerful people in the entertainment industry, people he once trusted. He even reached out to Kanye West shortly before his death, asking for a private talk. Days later, Aaron was found dead in his bathtub.
Following developing news tonight in Lancaster, where pop star Aaron Carter has died at the age of 34.
Yeah, the troubled performer grew up in the limelight, but he was in and out of rehab several times in his short life. Chris Wolf is live for us in Lancaster. He's got more on this. Chris?
Yeah, Rick, MB, the street is now cleared. People have been moving in and out of that home behind me all day. And tonight we heard from some of those closest to Aaron Carter, and they all say the same thing. They all share stories of a very kind, loving, caring, humble, yet troubled young man. It's the tragic death of a young performer, and now family, friends, and fans around the world are suffering the loss. Singer, rapper, actor Aaron Carter is dead at the age of 34. Oh my God. Carter's close friend and stylist shared this video of a recent birthday celebration for Carter's fiancée, Melanie Martin. She is also the mother of their 11-month-old son, Prince.
It's very painful, very, very painful. I talked to him 2 weeks ago. He was at the dentist and he FaceTimed me. He said, "Come over." And I said, I have work to do. I wish I could have just go see him at least one more time.
LA County firefighters say they received a call about a drowning. The LA County Sheriff's Department says a house sitter called 911 around 11 a.m. Saturday to report a man unresponsive in his bathtub. It was Carter.
Now here's where things get strange. Kanye, who's never been afraid to speak out, later said Aaron's death wasn't just an accident. He claimed that a man named Harley Pasternak, a personal trainer with ties to Hollywood, might have been involved. Kanye even said Harley once threatened to lock him up and drug him if he didn't follow orders. Some believe Harley acts as a handler for celebrities, someone who controls them from behind the scenes.
On November 19th, 2016, a week and a half after Donald Trump won the presidential election, Kanye West, now known as Ye, held a concert in Sacramento. Most people in the audience were, of course, young people and presumably Hillary Clinton voters and presumably deeply disappointed by her loss a week and a half before. 2 days later, Kanye West was in the hospital. Well, at the house of his family's exercise trainer, a man called Harley Pasternak, West apparently suffered some kind of mental break. Pasternak called an ambulance to pick him up. West was taken away, and then he was sedated with at least 7 different psychiatric medications, including benzodiazepines, lithium, sleeping pills, and olanzapine. News reports suggested that West had experienced a profound psychiatric episode. He'd gone completely off the deep end. He'd gone crazy, and they've been saying that ever since. West, over time, though, told a very different story. In his telling, after what he'd said on stage in Sacramento, Harley Pasternak was trying to shut him up. Media outlets are not usually in the business of ignoring remarkable things, but they did. And what he posted was a picture of a text exchange that he had had with Harley Pasternak.
It says, I'm going to help you one of a couple ways. First, you and I sit down and have a loving and open conversation, but you don't use cuss words. And everything that is discussed is based in fact, and not some crazy stuff that dumb friend of yours told you or you saw in a tweet. Second option, I have you institutionalized again where they medicate the crap out of you and you go back to zombie land forever. Play date with the kids just won't be the same. They wanted to medicate me every day. You realize, like, they could have just switched the medication and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue. Every time they say I'm crazy, it's just when I'm saying the truth. So what's the crazy part, really?
Try, if you can, to imagine a more sinister threat than that, a more chilling threat than that. Do what I say or I will turn your brain to mush. I will destroy your relationship with your own children. I will send you back to, quote, zombie land forever. Effectively, I'll kill you.
Kanye also said Diddy was involved in threats against him, acting on behalf of powerful people. And guess what? Harley's name popped up in that mess too.
With no Instagram, nobody living, nobody, and I don't want to hear shit from none of these niggas, Jewish niggas talk about, oh, he's in an episode. Harley Pasternak followed me to the fucking hotel. Then kill Aaron Carter, and now they acting like they won't clear the Backstreet Boys sample. You get what I'm saying? Harley Pasternak, Pusha, your trainer. Harley Pasternak, Jay-Z. You get what I'm saying? And then niggas be hanging around these niggas just for the money or some Mike Rubin shit. I slap the shit out of Mike Rubin. I see that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, fuck these niggas, bro. Fuck these niggas, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm on my Farrakhan Don shit right now, bro. Because guess what? These Yeezys gonna sell. They sabotaged the show today. They sabotaged the Instagram. They cut off the fucking Adidas contract. They did all the shit. Then they want to go get light-skinned Ye. You gotta understand.
So how does this all tie back to Aaron? Aaron had a rough past, sure. He struggled with addiction, mental health issues, and body image problems. He went in and out of rehab, and he talked openly about his battles. But people close to him say he was working on recovery.
Everyone keeps trying to tell me I'm diagnosed schizophrenic and bipolar and manic. And that's what I said. And instead they clipped it to where it says, I've been diagnosed bipolar and schizophrenic, all for clickbait.
Okay, well, my ex-mother-in-law was schizophrenic, and she would talk to herself. She would hear voices.
Okay.
When her and her daughter were just around, she would talk to her voices. At one point, her voices told her to kill herself, and she jumped out of a window. Schizophrenia is a very, very serious thing. It's not like just one of these regular.
So you grew up with it.
Well, I've been around it, yeah.
So Talking to me, would you consider me a schizophrenic?
Absolutely not.
Would you consider me manic depressive?
Doesn't appear to be.
Because there's a persona, and then there's what I am behind closed doors, right? And that there's a difference between that kind of persona and then my personal life, and I will stand up for myself, and I will be loudmouth. I'm entitled to my freedom of speech. So when I see people smearing my name or coming at me, I'm gonna come at you with my words first, my intelligence, and I'm gonna try to get you to calm your ass down. And if you don't, I'm gonna have process servers come find you.
When you hear that Wade Robson claimed that Michael Jackson was molesting him and now he's suing the Jackson estate and so forth, well, what's your take on that?
Who's suing?
Wade.
He's suing the estate.
Yes. Him and the other guy are both suing.
Why can't y'all go out and make your own money? Get a job at freaking Starbucks or something, man. Come on. I mean, Jesus Christ, bro. Like, sorry to use the Lord's name in vain, but like, yo, man. Why you gotta go after, he's got kids. He's got an executor of the estate that runs it great raffle. Like, I don't understand why. Don't you see the pattern? They wait till they're gone to accuse them of being pedophiles.
So nothing improper has ever happened to you,
I mean,
Michael.
they don't do that to me. They're calling me a pedophile.
So nothing improper.
And I'm alive.
So nothing improper between you and Michael Jackson ever.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's full. I mean, I'm writing a book, and I'll talk about it a little bit more in depth when the book is finished.
Mm-hmm.
But absolutely not. And that's why I'm so appalled by it. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense about Lou Pearlman because he never did anything like that to me.
Mm-hmm.
It never made sense with Michael Jackson because he was nothing but nice and kind and loving to me. I smoked weed with Michael.
Okay. How old were you when you knew him?
I was 15, 16 years old.
Okay.
I did the song What More Can I Give? He called me in to do the song with Luther Vandross. He picked Luther, Usher, Celine Dion, me, my brother, and Destiny's Child, like Billy Gilman. And those are the people he picked to do What More Can I Give?
Well, from your perception, why do you think a grown man like Michael liked to be around children like yourself?
Well, he told me, and because I asked him, you know me, y'all know me now, I'm very candid. I was like, so what's up with like, your thing with like the little kids and like your statues around your house of like Peter Pan and stuff? It's like, what's up with that? Why are you calling it Neverland? Like, you want to live forever? Like, no, he started giggling and he said, because the best way in the music industry to stay relevant is to always keep instilling a positive message into the younger youth.
Then came November 5th, 2022, just one day after Diddy's birthday. Aaron was found dead at home. At first, the police didn't call it suspicious. They thought it was just another sad case of addiction. But things didn't add up. Neighbors Anthony and Amanda Chevelle, who were both medically trained, heard the emergency call on their police scanner. They rushed over to help. Amanda had her defibrillator with her, ready to save a life. But when they got to the door, Aaron's house sitter refused to let them in. She even locked the door and ran away from it. When police showed up minutes later, she tried to block them too. Why? Later, officials said Aaron drowned in his bathtub after inhaling compressed gas, but it took 5 whole months for those results to be released. Usually, toxicology tests don't take that long. Fans started digging. They found videos Aaron had posted shortly before his death, where he said he didn't feel safe, that he thought people were after him, that his life was in danger. Even his family said there was foul play involved.
Aaron Carter was found dead in a bathtub in his home in Los Angeles last November. Since that time, TMZ has reported the LA County coroner did not find water in his lungs, meaning he didn't drown. Carter's mother, Jane Schneck, posted photos on Facebook that show the bathroom where her son was found. She wrote on Facebook, "Because of my son's mental illness and prescription drug issues, they, the cops, just wanted it to be something easy that they didn't have the time or inclination to address." Schneck wants a more thorough investigation. She wrote that her son was receiving threats from many people, and she believes there were people out there who wanted to harm him. So joining me to discuss this issue and the death of Aaron Carter is Joseph Scott Morgan. He's a forensic death investigator and also the host of the Body Bags podcast. Joseph, welcome back to Sidebar. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Antoinette. Good to be here.
So let's talk a little bit about Aaron Carter's death. He was found in a bathtub in his home. We see from these photographs that there was some discoloration in the water. I have a feeling that was probably from his body releasing fluids following his death. So what can we glean thus far, aside from the fact that he didn't drown? They didn't find water in his lungs, according to this report by TMZ.
Well, if you're talking about the death investigation itself, we can glean the fact that they haven't come back with toxicology results yet. So at this point, and as you know, medical examiners and coroners are, I don't want to use the term notorious, but it takes time for these things to be fully realized because these tests take time. You don't, in a death investigation, you don't want things hurried up. And it seems as though some parties that are involved in this case want it sped up. And that's the most dangerous thing you can do. So it takes time to analyze all of this and not just look for what we refer to as qualitative results, but quantitative results. The mother has already stated that he's got a history of drug abuse. I think that's pretty widely known. However, it's not going to be surprising to find things in the system, but exactly how much is there? That's where we turn to quantitative, and that takes time. What degree they did this examination is still in question. We've got a big indicator there. The mother has stated that there was no water found in his lungs. The only way that can be assessed is by conducting a full autopsy, where the body's open and methodically each organ system is examined and samples of those organ systems are taken. And not only are they going to do toxicology, they're going to do histology, which means when we take those little bits of organs at autopsy, they'll cut them into very slight pieces and place them on a microscopic slide and look at them under the gaze of a microscope, highly magnified. And that way you can see if there's any kind of indwelling processes going on, whether it be disease or something unnatural that's occurring, that can give you a specific indicator as to what the cause and perhaps manner of death is.
These toxicology results can take some time to come back. I know where I live, it's often a couple of months, maybe longer, and you really can't finalize an autopsy report until you have that toxicology back. You might have some type of preliminary cause of death if it's obvious through autopsy, but let's say it was a drug overdose. You're going to have to wait for that tox screen to come back. Am I wrong?
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. And you want that because that's going to be key to everything here.
What's even stranger is that Aaron's house sitter was the only one inside with him that day. Witnesses saw her acting nervous, carrying bags, and talking to police for a long time before she was taken away. One close friend said Aaron wasn't suicidal at all. He was excited about new projects. He was focused on being a dad. So why would he suddenly give up? And why did the house sitter stop trained medical help from getting inside? Now, there are rumors that the federal government is looking into all of this. Not just Aaron's death, but other mysterious ones too, including Kim Porter's and even Jamie Foxx's near-death scare. All of them somehow are connected to Diddy. And all of this could come crashing down on him via a very old friend of his.
I think that Diddy's former bodyguard, Roger Bonds, is going to be the man to end it all. Roger Bonds is a name that we've heard brought up a lot during this trial as being Diddy's security, who is around and doing certain things that a co-conspirator would technically do. I can guarantee that the feds came to him and were offering him a deal to snitch on Diddy. And we know that the feds started this whole investigation into Diddy off of Cassie Ventura's civil lawsuit that she filed, and she named Roger Bonds in this lawsuit, and he worked for Diddy from 2002 to 2012. Cassie Ventura's statements about Roger Bonds is that he was there when she was getting abused by Diddy, and she named Roger Bonds in her civil lawsuit as being in the car when Diddy was stomping her head in. Her injuries were so bad that after that, Roger Bonds was the one that had to take her and put her into the London hotel. Now, after Cassie Ventura's lawsuit came out, Roger Bonds came out and did an interview with Vlad TV, and he confirmed everything that Cassie Ventura said and everything that he did. He also claimed that Diddy reached out to him and was trying to coach him what to say to certain news organizations that were going to ask him for interviews because he was named in the lawsuit. That isn't all. He talks about multiple different times seeing Cassie Ventura being beat. Roger Bonds also said that Diddy went to Kid Cudi's house when he wasn't there. He also said that Diddy put hands on his former assistant, Capricorn Clark, who we're gonna see testify on Tuesday. He said that Diddy beat her up so bad that she would leave and then later file a lawsuit against Diddy that he settled. That way she would never talk about the situation. And remember, the feds allege that Diddy and a co-conspirator kidnapped a female victim to make her facilitate the break-in of Kid Cudi's house. Now, we know that Capricorn Clark's testimony is going to come into play about Kid Cudi's house being broke into, because in Kid Cudi's testimony, he confirmed that Capricorn Clark told him that Diddy and an affiliate, which I wonder if it's Roger Bonds, forced her in a car to go to his home. And Roger Bonds also talks about Kid Cudi's car with the Molotov. Roger Bonds also confirmed that Diddy did have a substance problem and he would use a ton of different substances, and he would send members of the Combs enterprise like security and more to go pick up prescriptions in their own name. Roger Bonds said that he would actually do this for Diddy himself on multiple occasions.
Was Aaron Carter silenced because he knew too much? Did he uncover a dark side of Hollywood that some people would kill to protect?
They were calling bomb threats to your house?
They were swatting me, which means they were like saying that I was overdosing, or
getting police to come to your house, basically,
and break down the doors.
Break down the doors.
If I would do like a sleep stream on my YouTube, they'd say, "Oh, he's passed out and overdosed on drugs," and they call the cops. They called the cops on us the other day because we deleted our social medias. So anything they can do to try to continue building cases is what they're doing. And they'll go to fucking lengths that are unfathomable.
Yeah.
As that documentary says, unbelievable. Harvey Weinstein. So at the same time, like, I will never accept them into my life unless they send me an engraved apology. It doesn't have to be public, but let me let you guys all know something out there. If you ever see us ever again, they apologized.
And just like some people believe Diddy may have tried to silence Aaron Carter, there are now claims he tried to erase what Cassie Ventura knew too, at least according to Homeland Security. A man named Josh Croft, who works in computer forensics for Homeland Security investigations, told authorities they found laptops that belonged to Cassie, Diddy's ex-girlfriend. One of the laptops, a MacBook Pro from around 2010 or 2011, had been wiped clean, reset to factory settings. But Croft wasn't done. He pulled the hard drive out and was able to recover a bunch of files that hadn't been fully erased. When he powered up the laptop, he saw a login screen for someone called Frank Black. There was also a guest user account on it.
Let's go through all the photos of what investigators seized from Diddy. Starting off here, we've got a couple bottles of what appears to be a lubricant. We've got a lighter and some pink, like, over-the-counter pills. Also, like, how long has this lube been here? Because why is this, like, drawer warped? We got some pink, like, crushed up powder, which appears to be 2C, probably found within this pill bottle. It appears this is some kind of, like, Adderall prescription, some candies. Here we've got a prescription for Klonopin, which is like kind of like a Xanax, I believe. And Frank Black is listed as the name, which is interesting because that's the name that Cassie told us that he would use for his hotels and his freak-offs. Here we've got a drawer of I believe what we've already seen is just all packed into this drawer. Now, I saw a ton of bottles of Visine as I went through these photos. Also, here is a lot of money. I guess this is some hotel, and this is where he would go and do the FOs at, and I guess that money was for the men that would come through. We've got baby oil all over this place. Like, in every single room, there's a little bit of baby oil somewhere. Here's a picture of the bathroom. It looks like his stuff is still there. I don't know when they came and took these photos. Like, his phone is still there. It looks like all of his stuff, his glasses are still there. They just came in there and then got him out of there and went through it all. Here are some more bottles of lube that look like they were found in maybe a shower or a bath. And this one made my stomach sink. Actually, I have one right here because this is what I put all my files on. This holds so much. You can put a ton of videos and pictures and things like that on there, which to me, that looks like it's evidence with all the FOs, the videos and things like that.
Another laptop turned on, but made a weird clicking noise. Croft had to remove the hard drive from that one too. He couldn't get everything off of it, but he recovered most of the data. That laptop was all banged up, with dents and bends, like it had been dropped or slammed. And while this was going on in court, the jury was hearing from other people too, like rapper Kid Cudi. He told the court that Diddy once broke into his home and not long after, his Porsche went up in flames. Kid Cudi said both of those things happened after Diddy found out he was dating Cassie.
Kid Cudi testimony, it was fiery, figuratively and of course, literally. He told the court that he started dating Cassie around 2011. And in December of that year, Cassie told him Diddy had found out about us. The same day, he said that he got a call from a Diddy employee who told him that Diddy was at his house. So Cudi, he went home and he called Diddy on the way. He said it went something like this. I said, MFer, you in my house? And he was like, what's up? I was like, MFer, are you in my house? And he said, I just want to talk to you. I was like, I'm on my way over right now. He was like, I'm here. Now, when Cudi got home, no one actually was there. But he said his security cameras had been moved, angled away from where they were originally pointed before he left his home. Gifts from Chanel that he had for his family on the kitchen counter, they had been opened. And his dog, who normally roamed free around the house, was suddenly locked in the bathroom. And you fast forward to January 2012, Cudi testified that this happened. His dog watcher called to tell him that his Porsche was on fire. The jury, well, they saw these images. And Cudi said it looked like the top had been cut open and a Molotov cocktail was dropped inside. The prosecutor asked, what was your reaction to your car being set on fire? Cudi said, what the F? Now, he testified he met with Diddy at a members-only club the next day. He walked into the room, Diddy was alone, and he said he saw this. It was one wall was all windows, and Sean Combs was standing there staring out the window with his hands behind his back like a Marvel supervillain. They ended up talking about Cudi's relationship with Cassie and how neither of them seemed to know that the other was actually dating her at the same time.
Then there was Mila Morales, Cassie's former makeup artist. She testified that she was terrified one night during Grammys weekend in 2010. She said she saw a violent situation between Diddy and Cassie in a hotel room and feared for her life.
Leading us off tonight is CNN's Kara Scannell, who has been in court every day of this trial. Kara, despite Kid Cudi indicating that Diddy was behind the Molotov cocktail that he says set fire to his Porsche, he also noted he had found peace with an apology that he received from Diddy a few years later. What happened?
Yeah, so after the Molotov cocktail incident, Kid Cudi said that he reached out to Combs, and because Combs had been trying to get in contact with him and he wanted to settle things. So he said that they agreed to meet at the Soho house. This was in January of 2012. And he said he walked into the room and Combs was standing in front of glass windows with his hands behind his back, which Kid Cudi said made him look like a Marvel superhero villain. And he said that he then had this meeting with him where they discussed Ventura, them dating, and he said that they shook hands at the end, and he said to Combs in that moment, what about my car? And Combs said, I don't know what you're talking about. And so Kid Cudi testified that he thought Combs was lying.
On top of that, another witness took the stand, Frederick Demour, a hotel manager from L'Hermitage in Beverly Hills. He testified that Diddy made hotel reservations under fake names. Names like Ryan Lopez, Jackie Starr, Frank White, and Frank Black. The records went all the way back to 2006. One entry from 2010 mentioned candle wax found in a room booked under Jackie Starr. So now, the question a lot of people are asking, is there a pattern here? Is it just a coincidence that both Aaron Carter and Cassie seemed to know too much and ended up either silenced or scared into silence?
So you think if Diddy, if he beat this case, he going after Cassie?
Yeah. Well, y'all don't know Puffy. Y'all don't know Puffy. Y'all think this man's some sweet homosexual or something. Like, you costing me everything. He's a malicious person. He's had a mentality of I will not lose for so long. Anybody from the smallest, from the janitor to the CEO, if you did something he didn't like, he has got his revenge. From the janitor to the CEO in the building. He don't care how small you are, you're not gonna play Puffy. And she knows she know what I know. Everybody know. That bitch gonna have to move to south of France. Somewhere. Everybody's scared. The ones who didn't support, the ones who thought he was burnt, they scared. They don't want to see him beat the case. They thought he was fried, which I think he fried, but I mean, me and Baz was having this conversation. She was like, yo, I don't think this nigga gonna do life, yo. I can't see him doing life.
Freddie P believes that should Diddy win this case, he'll come after Cassie too. How do you think this ends? Let us know in the comments below.